Welcome back to the paragraph writing strategy. This is part 2 of the day 11 lesson. The part 1 lesson was a review of the topic sentences that we've already learned, and we're going to start looking at the paragraph writing puzzle here. So we've already talked a lot about this top piece, and our next piece that we're going to work on now is the detail sentences. And this is a significant part of the puzzle because it's where you plan and create the body of the paragraph, the biggest part of the paragraph. Once you've acquired these two pieces, and there's only one left after this, and that will be your conclusion. So today we're going to be talking about the definition for detail sentences and the two types of detail sentences. Tomorrow we will discuss certain factors that you must consider as you write detail sentences. And then the third day we will be talking about using the paragraph diagram and how you will adapt the pin steps to write detail sentences. Finally, you will set some goals about how fast you will master writing the detail sentences. So, we're ready then to talk about detail sentences. So, detail sentences are the main course of the paragraph. So you had your topic sentences before. They are considered the appetizer, the thing like your mozzarella sticks. Those are something my daughter and I like to eat when we go out. But then we get the main course, which might be your steak and your potatoes, a vegetable, a salad, that kind of thing. So your detail sentences are your main course of your paragraph. You would consider them the meat and potatoes of the paragraph. They supply the information that the writer needs to communicate to the reader. They fill up the reader's mind with information, much like the main course of a meal fills up your stomach. So they discuss so each sentence is going to discuss one of the details in the paragraph. And sometimes it's going to show the relationship between a detail and the rest of the paragraph. So there are going to be different types that we're gonna do here. So I'm going to do a little example here. Let's say that we have a sentence called "You can study several subjects in school." That would be your topic sentence, which is that appetizer. And then you could have a sentence that says, "One subject is math." That would be a detail. One subject is science. That would be another detail. One subject is social studies. That could be another detail. Does this sound exciting to you though? Probably not. So we want to make sure that we're giving details that are going to engage the reader and want them to learn different details about what's going on. So always make sure that you discuss one of the details in the paragraph, and sometimes show the relationship between a detail and the rest of the paragraph. So here's our paragraph express. I apologize for it not showing up as clearly as it should, but I think you'll get the idea of what we're looking at here. So we have a picture of a train, and what's going to happen here is we're going to work on building the train. So this is our paragraph. So if you look here, the engine is the topic sentence. The engine represents the topic sentence because it drives the train or gives the paragraph direction. For example, the topic sentence might be about making a banana split. Each of these boxcars after that are going to represent details, which could be ice cream, the syrup, or other topics used to make the banana split. Notice that each car has a number of sections. So if you look here, the first one has 3 sections. That's a detail. The second one has 2 sections, and the third one has 2 sections also. So those are going to be how many detail sentences you're going to want to have in the boxcar. If you look here, there's things that connect the cars. So from the engine to the first detail, and then from the detail 1 to detail 2, there's a we're going to call those couplers, and they attach each part of the car. The coupling device, or the transition words, is attached to the first section of the boxcar, or the first detail sentence. That means the transition word is included in the first detail sentence that is written about the main point. Many times it's the first word in that sentence. So the next thing we're going to talk about here is transitions. They signal the introduction of a new detail, and they show the relationship between the detail and the rest of the paragraph. So we're back to our paragraph express here. Which boxcar is first and which one is last on this train? So if you look there, then we obviously have the first one here. By looking at the picture, we can see which boxcar is first, second, and third. The coupler's devices specify the order of the cars. They connect the boxcars in a specific order. In a paragraph, the transition words sometimes tell us the order of the main events, or maybe the importance of the main events in relation to each other. In a few minutes, we'll be going over the different types of relationships that can be explained by the transition words and give specific examples of transitions words. For the time being, it's just important that you remember what we call the coupler device in our paragraphs, which is transition or transition words. So our next thing is our different type of detail sentences. First one is lead-off sentences. And the lead-off sentence is like a lead-off batter. A lead-off batter comes up to bat first in the batting lineup. A lead-off sentence comes up first in the lineup of detail sentences that are written about the same detail. Thus, the lead-off sentence introduces a new detail to the reader. So it introduces a new detail, and it contains a transition. And there's also a type of detail sentence called follow-up sentences. The follow-up sentence follows the lead-off sentence with additional information about the detail. It adds to the information provided in the lead-off sentence. So it's going to provide more information about the detail. So now we're back to our train again. So how many follow-up sentences are there in the first boxcar? So the lead-off would be the first one. So there are two more cars, so two more boxes, so there would be two more. And this would go on with the same part here. So then you would have a transition, and then you'd have your lead-off sentence, and then your follow-up sentence, and then another transition, and then a lead-up sentence and a follow-up sentence. So now we have an example that we're going to go through. And our topic sentence is, turtles could not survive without their marvelous shells. And here's the detail sentence. Most importantly, turtle shells serve as the base for their skeletons. That's our lead-off sentence. And then our detail about that is their backbones and ribs are attached to the flatty, bony plates of their shells. This skeleton provides shape for their bodies. Then we have a transition here. Somewhat importantly is a transition words. Then we have our next lead off. Turtles can live anywhere because they carry their homes with them. And then the follow-up is, this is important for turtles since they move so slowly. Then we have another transition word, finally. And we have our lead off. Turtle shells are important because the shells protect turtles from their enemies. And then our follow-up sentence is, turtles who are in danger can pull their heads and legs into their hard shells to protect themselves from animals who might try to eat them. So that is an example one, and remember that you're always going to want to have transition words, and then your lead-off sentences and your follow-up sentences. So I'm going to have some questions for you to answer here about the lesson that we just did, and then we will continue with this lesson again tomorrow with lesson 2 about detail sentences. Thank you for listening.